Hello. I wanted to make this video really quickly. Well, maybe not quickly. I just had this idea, while I'm in the shower. Random ideas, best ideas sometimes. Okay, so we know that in Choctaw culture, right, that there's two competing primary origin stories. Okay, so one origin story is that, well, it's actually even splintered in that. One of them is that we came out of the earth in some way, as clay, and we dried in the sun and we became people, right? We're people made of red clay. Some say that the story indicates that we came out of the mound, Nanih Waiya Mound. Other stories indicate that we came out of Nanih Waiya Cave, which is, it's in a trajectory. There's some connection that I don't personally know of on a more like functional situation or a functional level. Anyway, so the second origin story that is widely accepted is that Choctaws migrated from some place. Now there's debate. There's debate amongst. There's not so much debate amongst Choctaw as in the origin story, but there's debate amongst archaeology and archaeologists and their theories about Choctaw migration into our current homelands. So, one thing I do not agree with, I don't agree with this at all, right, is that, and maybe it's totally biased because I'm Choctaw and this is my personal opinion, and I'm sorry if I rub my acquaintances the wrong way, because I'm gonna tag you after, but the prevailing idea among some archaeological circles is that modern Choctaw peoples did not build the Nanih Waiya Mound. They believe that there was an earlier group of people that built the mound, and in accordance with our migration story, they believe that us contemporary Choctaws, our ancestors, migrated from some other place and found the mound already built. And of course, I take issue with that. I take issue with that just because this is my identity, right? And that's totally legitimate. Okay, so moving forward, again, we have these two conflicting origin stories. We know for a fact that even when there are societies with mounds, complex societies with mounds, they'll collapse. The society will collapse for some reason. Well, when a society collapses, that doesn't mean always that the entire population disappears and no longer exists. There's lots of documented evidence showing that after a society has collapsed or fallen apart or basically just been absorbed into another group or whatever, you still have people living in the area. And this is where I bring in my alternative narrative to Choctaw origin. Okay. There's also already documentation in other situations that support this. It's happened before. Effectively, I believe, if we talk about Choctaw origin and just eliminate the religious aspect or the supernatural aspect of of us not being, coming out of the ground as clay. If we eliminate that, which I personally don't, but scientifically, rationally, I have to eliminate it. So we eliminate that, and so we're left with trying to figure out who built the mound. Okay, so let's say some society other than contemporary modern Choctaw's ancestors built the mound. Okay, let's say that happened. Why couldn't people still be here after that society disbanded or whatever, right? Why couldn't there be a population left? Of course, it would be a small population, as some of the literature has shown in other situations of the like, where there's a basically a small population of the mound builders left, and you have a new group, a new tribe, or some other group of people come into the area and basically integrate with who's already there. And so with that, I think we can assume, because we can't know for a fact. We weren't there. We'll never 100% know for a fact. And I certainly don't know what the evidence is in the literature, nor in anyone's collection. But I will say, I think there's definitely an opportunity for both of these origin stories to hold value and not be in conflict. They could totally be based on real experiences. You could have had a population that was here already, or where the mound is, that could have been from whoever built the mounds. And then you could have another group of people that migrated here. Okay, so you've got these two origin stories and two different ways to look at the mound and who built it and where it came from. Why do they have to be in conflict? For the sake of being in conflict, I'm sure. But that's ridiculous. Maybe I'm just imagining all this in my nerdy little brain, but I think it's important to always remember that there can be alternatives to support your findings, or to support. Just because it doesn't fit doesn't mean doesn't mean it's right. Like there's too much not right when we look at origins of Choctaws. We have archaeologists that claim that we came from the north. We have archaeologists that claim we came from the west. It's from my personal. This is my personal belief, and it is based very loosely on personal observations. Our language has a lot in common, and our iconography has a lot in common with, say, Central American cultures. So who's to say we didn't? Some peoples didn't migrate from the west, or maybe that's just a circumstance of trading. Who knows? But I think that's, if we go back to my main point, I am arguing that the two origin stories and effectively the idea around who built the mounds does not have to be in conflict. They can coexist if you look at this alternative narrative where you had a population already in the area that was related to the people that built the mounds, and then you had a different population that came in and migrated in, and then you have these two people come together. And there's lots of evidence showing that Choctaws were very, I don't know if we were quite, an empire, but we certainly did like to swallow up people around us, whether it was for a good positive reason of helping those people, or if it was just to exert power and authority, I don't know. I don't know the details of that. But what I do know is that we were pretty okay with getting along with other people. And if we kind of look at the uh, dichotomy of old ritual Choctaw marriage, where you had two groups that, you know, you had to marry from the other group. You know, it's a way to prevent incest, pretty much. Or also, you know, if you look at it through contemporary lens, it's probably something to do with materialism and the exchange of wealth too. But so we're already looking at a system, a two-way system, so, or a two-part system. I would say definitely it's okay to have this alternative hypothesis to where you can say some Choctaws, because I don't care. I understand that there's historical implication about who is Choctaw and who's not Choctaw and all that, but I don't care. Today, contemporary, we're all Choctaw, regardless of whether some ancient lineage might have varied or whatever. Yeah, I think there's credible, generalized evidence to say that we can have these two origin stories and their relationship to the Choctaw Mound, you know, be reconciled. And I just laid it out for you, basically. You know, you had two groups of people. If the evidence, if the archaeological evidence truly indicates contemporary Choctaw ancestors did not build the Nanih Waiya Mound, then, and we say we did, and there's all this evidence that goes both ways, I think you have to stop trying to explore your one single perspective, concept, and try and reconcile it. Because, you know, sometimes when you have two things that you want to go either way on and it just doesn't work out, probably doesn't work out because there's another way. And I think this alternative could be pretty good. And it reconciles identity too. If you had these so-called two different groups of people, one that was already here and one that moved in and migrated in, and they got it on, had a bunch of kids, then we're already the same people. We're talking about, if we're looking at it from exclusively like a genetic flow situation, it doesn't matter. We're all Choctaw, right? and this is me standing. I might be ranting. Definitely, I am ranting, but you know, it's very important for me to get my perspectives across, regardless of how unfounded they are. The point is that I am Choctaw and I have a voice, and you know, it's important that I'm at the table. I certainly have not heard any other people try and reconcile the origin stories and their relationship to the mound. And hopefully, by watching this, to the archaeologists I plan to tag once this is uploaded, I definitely want you guys to take it to heart and consider the evidence. Consider the available information and write about it. Heck, you know, like, disprove me. Write something and disprove me. But just put it in the literature that somebody somewhere came up with an alternative. Okay? I take issue with non-tribal members controlling the narratives of the of tribal members, and I don't mean that in a racist or hurtful way, but you know, we have brains and we can represent ourselves. So this was me kind of getting that out too, and it doesn't mean I don't love you guys and I don't respect you. Of course, there's that you can have discourse and still maintain that friendship and acquaintanceship and all that good stuff. But anyway, yeah. Why can't it? Let's just summarize this. Why can't it be both? Why can't Choctaws be Choctaws, and why can't the origin stories and the mound and who built the mound? Why does it have to be so black and white? Because time after time, investigations often prove that it's a complex answer. It's never black and white, and so that's why I'm presenting you this alternative. If you want to talk about it, hit me up. I'll video chat. I will definitely, you know, email or messenger or whatever. In case I was just rambling so much, it didn't make sense. But anyway, yeah. So there it is. Do what you will with it. See you later.